Hi everyone, I'm going to give you a brief presentation on how to take advantage of the new function ChatGPT. It's a new function that ChatGPT has for you to help you to analyze your qualitative data, including quantitative data, especially if you want to conduct statistical analysis, develop tables and charts based on your data that you have. This is really a game changer. Now, with GPT, you have an option to connect Google Drive and also Microsoft OneDrive to ChatGPT so that you'll be able to upload any document that you want to analyze. So imagine that you have your qualitative data or mixed method data and you want to analyze, and you have already uploaded information into OneDrive or Google Drive. You can easily bring it here and do the analysis. So I'm going to show you step by step how I was able to upload my data and be able to do this kind of wonderful graphs. I was able to also run some statistical analysis like chi-square, ANOVA to get all information that I need from the data that I have. So the first step is to go to ChatGPT, click on ChatGPT to see. And then what you could do is that you can use GPT-4o or GPT-4. I like using the new function. It's the newest and also the fastest and advanced model that we're going to use. So we're going to use the GPT-4o to do the analysis. So when you click on this icon, you have an option to connect your Google Drive or OneDrive to ChatGPT. Let me first show you the data that I want to use so that you will get an idea. This is a data of 100 participants. They are mental health professionals. They were asked questions about mental health stigma. It also has the data of the cultural intelligence score for each of the participants. So demographic information, it has open-ended responses and quantitative data. It has qualitative data, open-ended responses, and also close-ended responses, right? So I've already uploaded this information to Google Drive. So you go to Google Drive and, I already connected my Google Drive into the system. So that's why it just takes me straight to Google Drive. You can search for the data that you want to analyze. So the data that I'm looking for is mental health stigma. I think this came up here. So now I have the data with me, and you can ask the system any kind of question. I think the first one is, imagine that you just want the system to give you an overview about the data. You can just say, can you review the attached data and provide me with an overview? Also include chat. And let's see what you're gonna get. So you see how the system, I've given you a preview. This is the data that was uploaded. It has all the information that you have here, 100 participants and all their responses. Yes, so as you can see here, it has provided me a histogram with age distribution and also the cultural intelligence score distribution. It has given me information about the educational levels. I also have information about the gender and then a brief summary giving you an overview. So this one is going to be very useful if you are not familiar with the data and you want to just get a big picture of the data before you go in and ask specific questions. I think this really is going to be very useful for you. You can even click on one of the graph and you can ask the system to explain it for you. You can download your graph. You can change the colors if you want to. You can make a little adjustment to the graph if you want to do that. You can go further. What is the relationship between thoughts on stigma and cultural intelligence, right? So just asking the system a question, you'll be able to get the information that you need. The system is analyzing the data, trying to give you wonderful information. I think this one is more of a quantitative data. You see that it has given you the relationship. It's also giving you some key insights, right? So that's to see how it can give you a graph and also provide a little explanation. You can also ask the system to explain more if you are not clear about what it's giving. I also want the system to find out whether education is a predictor of cultural intelligence. So it has run a correlation, it has run a regression analysis. This is the R square. Also provided a p-value, which is more than 0.05. So the effect is not statistically significant. So this is an interpretation. Education is not statistically significant predictor of cultural intelligence. And then you can ask the system, can you present this results in APA format? You see how it has provided a very detailed information about the results, including the numbers in the APA format. Perfect. This is going to make your work very easy for you using this software. And then you can also ask the open-ended responses, some of the open-ended responses. So one question I want to ask the system is, what are the perceived causes and contributing factors to mental health stigma according to mental health providers? ChatGPT can make mistakes. So it's very important for you to ask more questions for you to make sure that the information is directly from the data. So you can say that, can you extract evidence from the data in support of this output you just presented? And then let's see what we're going to get. So you can see here that it has extracted information. There are open-ended responses in support of the theme that it initially provided to you. So you see how this this tool will be so helpful for you in analyzing your transcript or in both qualitative and quantitative data. So, and let me see. And another thing that you can also do is that in order to make sure that the system is providing you the right information, you always have to be skeptical and ask further questions. You can ask the system to self-evaluate. So you can say, based on the findings that you have provided to me, can you act as a quality assurance evaluator, making sure that the result best reflects the data that I have? And then the system can evaluate the findings and give you more information or any recommendation. It's like you are checking your work, helping the system to check, evaluate the information that it has given you. Another thing that you may have to think about is you can also let the system show it work. You can ask, her, how did you come up with this answer? Let's use this example. Can you generate the mean and standard deviation of their age? The system will initially provide you the mean and the standard deviation, but how are you going to make sure that this information is right? This is where you ask further question. Can you provide me detailed steps you followed to arrive at these findings about me? So now it's providing step by step, right? Uploading the data in and inspecting the data, right? Identifying the age column, right? And then handling missing data and calculating the means. And this one is going to also be helpful when you are presenting the findings. You'll be able to explain the processes that you and AI pass through to arrive at the findings so that the finding will be credible, right? To increase the credibility of your findings, it's very important for you to show your work. And this is a good example of how you can use AI to help you to provide you the step-by-step of how it arrived at a specific answer. You can ask the system to do many things. You can say, can you generate a word cloud showing participants' views about mental health? So you see how powerful this one is. So it has shown you information about the kinds of words that they use as they are talking about their views, right, about mental health stigma. The bigger the font, the higher the number of time participants use that word. So they use the word stigma, they use mental health, they use stigmatize, they use health, they use treatment, they use depression, and they use around, leads. So word cloud just give you the idea about the kinds of word participants use and the frequency of the use of those words. So you can also download this one if you want to use it as your presentation, you can do that. Let's look at it this way too. Imagine you finish asking your question and you want the system to put everything in the form of a presentation for you. I think that you can ask the system to do that. So what you can do is that you can say that, can you generate a system PowerPoint slides based on the output you have provided? So let's see what we will get. So you can see that the system has finished developing a PowerPoint. Let's see what we're going to get. Let's open the PowerPoint. Okay, good. Another strategy is that, now that you have like the content, you can always click on, you see here, designer, and then you'll be able to choose suggested designs that you think best reflect the information that you want to present. So you can click on that and it will generate some designs for you. Now we have our PowerPoint. You can make a few adjustments to it and then you can present. So this is just a brief information about how you can use the new function of ChatGPT to help you to analyze both your qualitative and quantitative data and also develop a PowerPoint and present your findings in a way that is meaningful to your audience. I hope this one was helpful for you. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be happy to provide you more videos to get your understanding of how to use AI tools to help you to do your research and also to analyze your qualitative and also quantitative data. Thank you for your time.